In a bizarre, shocking Twilight Zone-filled day yesterday, we learned that the Zelda Netflix show was actually a thing, which is extremely surprising to me on many, many levels, seeing as this is still something that just circulates pretty much monthly at this point, where people are just taking the old IGN April Fools and just running with that headline. Got a whole video covering some stuff about that if you'd like to check it out. It's about what a Zelda anime would look like. But lo and behold, in 2015, there was a supposed Zelda live-action TV show coming. So if you weren't aware of this story that broke yesterday, a guy named Adam Conover, who was previously with College Humor, he was working on a secret Star Fox claymation, like Fantastic Mr. Fox type thing that was going to be a Nintendo show or some kind of Nintendo project. And this was simultaneously as the Netflix Zelda project was being started. But some loose lips at Netflix apparently leaked the Zelda show, and that caused Nintendo to go on all kinds of a tizzy and completely pull the project and pull all the other projects that they were working on. Adam Conover went on a podcast called The Surf Times and basically talked about his experience with this, talked about how the whole project kind of fell apart because somebody at Netflix had leaked the information out there to the public. And, it's kind of interesting to see that this was a thing that happened because, 2015 Nintendo is a lot different from 2021 Nintendo, and it's pretty on brand for Nintendo, even 5-6 years ago, to kind of be very reserved with their IP and to even have them, working on the possibility of a TV show is pretty surprising. But at the same time, them pulling the project, it isn't a huge shock to me because they are extremely reserved with their IPs. But as we have seen over the last few years, they've kind of been opening up with that a bit more. If you look at Cadence of Hyrule, for an example, it's the first non-Nintendo, well, I mean, not if you count the CGI games.
I just saved you from Ganon. You did not.
So we're not going there. It's the first non-Nintendo Zelda game. It's made by an indie company. So, they're a bit more lax with their IPs now. You look at the Super Mario movie that's being made by Illumination. There's also theme parks, so like Super Nintendo World. So, they're opening up a lot more with their IPs and what they are putting available out there. And I don't think that this is something that's, gonna stay kind of low and maintained. I feel like they are full blown gonna go, the Walt Disney effect and just completely brand out and, get these IPs and franchises into as many different outlets as humanly possible. I do think that that the news that they were, going to do a Netflix show is very significant because that at one point shows that they had planned to do it. Now, if you remember, last year I made a video on what a Zelda anime would look like, and I made a strong case as to why I think an anime would be a lot better suited for Zelda compared to a live action series, be it budget and, production and everything, and just the whole creative, flux that you get from animation. I feel like you can really tell the story of Zelda, in a better way through animation compared to live action. And plus, everybody is going to be, the whole casting thing is going to be a complete nightmare for a lot of people because people have this predisposed, Jesus Christ, I cannot speak English. Predisposed. Everybody has this predisposed thought of what Link is supposed to look like. He has a very blatant character design when it comes to the animation, but finding an actor that's going to really, personify that is not going to strike a chord with every single person that's going to watch the show. I mean, if you look at something, another video game adaptation, really you could use any of them, but let's just use The Witcher for an example. A lot of people initially were really concerned about Henry Cavill playing Geralt of Rivia. I personally love how he looks as Geralt, but a lot of people really didn't like how he looked as Geralt. You know, you look at Tom Holland being Nathan Drake, you know, it's kind of similar things. People are just, you know, they have an idea of what these characters look like because, you know, character design already exists for these characters. And it just creates this kind of, you know, discourse, I guess you will, on what people think the character should look like. You're not going to have that issue in an animation per se, because, you know, you just take that character design and you draw it. It's pretty simple. I think this gives a strong case that we might see a Zelda show at some point in the future. And, you know, I really hope that that is the case, because I feel like Zelda is a property that could really benefit from, you know, having its story told, you know, across a film or across a TV show. And it'd be super interesting and fun to see what they do with it, you know, what kind of unique twists that they play on it, you know, how much they might pull from source material, or how much they might just, you know, create up on their own. And then it creates this fun back and forth with the Zelda community. And then, you know, we have more topics of discussion and more Zelda content. And ultimately, that's a win. That is a win for everybody. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it, guys. Let me know what you think. Did you ever in your lives think that the Zelda Netflix show was a real thing? Because I'm a bit flabbergasted at the fact that it was a real thing, and not just the long cycle of clickbaity nonsense that people put out there of the old IGN trailer. You know, not to say, you know, it's an interesting point, because, you know, these first rumors that sparked this was really when that kind of like perpetuated itself. It's Nintendo's own fault that I keep getting tagged in these articles about a Netflix live action show. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please subscribe if you would like to see more Zelda, gaming, Nintendo, whatever I decide to upload type stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much going to do it. Follow me on the socials if you feel so inclined. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.